Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to another episode of Show Me the Collectibles. I am so excited. As you can see behind toys on my table, he's got a huge collection, and we're just going to jump right into it. How you doing today, sir?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I am doing great. Like we chatted off camera, all of my followers and friends are going to think I only have friends with people who have beards. So I just want to give a huge shout out on that magnificent beard.
Thank you. Yeah, the best people have beards, So
I've been growing mine probably about a year and a half. I got a wedding coming up, and it might have to come off. So
right, yeah.
I'm a little nervous about that, but it's all for Amy, and she'll appreciate it. So
gotta keep it tight sometimes. So
oh yeah. So you know why you're here. We're going to talk about your collectibles, but let's just kind of start off with how long have you been collecting?
Pretty much forever. I remember the very first Ninja Turtle line coming out. I remember picking them up before the show, before I was even aware there was a show. Same with Transformers. Late 80s probably since then. So yeah, nonstop since then.
Gotcha. And as everybody can see at home, you have a massive collection. Is there a specific toy that you go for first, or are you just all over the spectrum? Like, hey, that looks neat, I'm going to grab that. That looks neat, I'm going to grab that.
Yeah, a little bit all over the spectrum, but certainly Transformers is my first love and still my main love.
Okay.
And then Ninja Turtles being a very, very, very close second. But oh my gosh, so much other stuff. So
gotcha. So with the Transformers, were you more into the cartoons once you started collecting? Were you excited for the movies? I know they have a new one coming out.
Oh yeah, totally. So I mean, as a kid of the 80s, we didn't really have a lot of movies to pick from with Transformers, just the 89 animated film. But yeah, I had a couple of VHS tapes that I really wore out. But for me, the shows and all that other stuff has been kind of second to toys.
Okay.
So yeah, there are Transformers series, for example, that I love, like Armada, Transformers Armada that came out in 2005. I love that. And I've still never actually watched the cartoon that's based off of. It's my favorite toy line, but I've never even watched the show. So
very nice. Now, see, I'm the polar opposite. I was huge on those 80s and 90s cartoons. Growing up, I wanted to be a cartoonist. I dabble a little bit with that. I mostly just draw chickens in my face a lot and just, stupid little comic strips. My grandma would actually give me the Sunday funnies all the time. So like I was all like, oh, I got to read them, and then I got to see the artwork to see how they're done. And I also wanted to do voices because of the guy on the Police Academy. I always thought he was very cool when he would do like the sound effects, and I would be running around hooting and hollering, and that was always my dream, is to work with cartoons and do voice acting. But unfortunately, that path didn't work out, which is fine, because I realized as I got older, I didn't want to draw for the rest of my life. So,
right, yep. I still like to draw. I'll throw a little bit up on Instagram, but yeah, I totally get you. It's you really have to dedicate your whole life to it if you want that to be something you're going to do.
And then same with this little podcast of mine. Like I'm my own biggest critic, so it's just like hard. Like I'm very hard on myself, and it's just like, oh, I could do better. Then I'll erase it when everybody's like, dude, that's really good. I was like, it's not, but thank you. And then my other grandma would actually yell at me if I threw my pictures away, so she would keep them. So
that's good. I think just making anything, if you've made something, you've done something good, and you should just put it out there, whether it's junk or not. I mean, it's just creating stuff. It's easy to sit back and criticize, especially criticize yourself, but it's so easy to tear people down. And if you're making something, whether it's this podcast or anything, I think you should just put it out because it's good.
Yeah, and I've learned that with this podcast, like wrestling is kind of like my first love that I found as a kid, as well as now as I'm an adult. It just reminds me of my childhood. And I've actually made a lot of friends in this community, and I'm starting to branch off now because I like collecting things. I like to see what other people collect, and that's kind of why I reached out to you, because your collection is very impressive. Hopefully my boss doesn't watch any of these, but I sneak into your lives when I'm at work, and I'm just like, oh, what's he going to show today? And then I have to bump back out because I have to scrub the floor or I have to go fix something. So, like the other day I told you, I'm like pretending to work because I'm like watching your live for a few minutes. So, So.
Yeah, this really is such a supportive community. I mean, by and large, I've never met anybody in real life who was super negative. Occasionally you bump into some trolls on the internet, but
Yeah.
yeah, by and large, I think this is such a cool community, especially with people like yourself and me and our limited ability to make stuff, to put positive stuff out and just share stuff. Yeah, so cool. I love doing stuff like this.
And definitely, that's one thing I do like about the collecting world now, as well as the wrestling world, is again, building those friendships. Obviously, you're here for just a small segment today, but with that collection, I would love to keep getting you on because I want to deep dive into more of that. And hopefully
Definitely.
these videos do well because I'm sure other people want to see what else is hiding behind you, so.
Oh yeah, there's every walls you can't see that are filled with stuff. So yeah.
I just saw one of your TikToks that you had gotten gifted a whole collection from another person. It was like boxes and boxes, and I'm like, now that's a good friend, just gives you a
And that's
whole
not even the
collection.
first time that's happened to me. I kind of
Yeah.
have a reputation as somebody who just really cherishes these toys, and it's when you're getting rid of your childhood stuff. For some people, it's like, gosh, I don't want to go through all the hassle of selling it and stuff because it is such a hassle.
Mhm.
And I hate to just give it to somebody who's just going to put it up on eBay.
Yeah.
So they know that when it goes to me, it really does go to a good home. I put the stuff up, I enjoy it, and I don't resell very often. So yeah.
And we've talked
I
about
have
it. Yep. Sorry, go
a
ahead.
lot of gifts. No, I was
Yeah.
just saying I've gotten a lot of wonderful gifts that way. So
Yeah, and me and my buddy Chad, I'll have to send you a link to the previous episode with his collection and his garage and stuff. But it's just that high of going out, as I call it, treasure hunting or finding something in the wild.
totally.
I'm not sure if you have like a Savers near you or like the secondhand thrift stores, Goodwill, and all that. When I find like a Ninja Turtle in there, I'm all excited because it's like, wow, like. I'd have to go on eBay and pay, X amount of dollars. And then we talked off camera, like, I hate paying for that shipping when I know it's only going to cost $3, but you're going to charge me 25 just to get it here. And it's like, really? Like, I just feel like the shipping and the price gouging right now on eBay is just out of this world. So,
Right. So full disclosure, the reason I was late to our first appointment this morning is because I went to a toy show. So
oh, nice.
uh,
No, I got a napkin. I'm good. So,
yeah, at the toy show, like you're saying, like this morning I got this TMNT the Turtlemobile from 1992.
oh,
This is
wow.
normally like this is pretty relatively valuable, and I got it for $10 at a toy show. So it's like, yeah, I totally get you. I love the treasure hunting. That's the most fun part.
So is anyone in your family also a collector, or do they just support the hobby? How does that
No,
all work?
no, not at all. Well, I guess my wife has a little bit of Care Bears, but
Ooh,
she wouldn't even classify herself as a collector.
okay.
And then my kids couldn't be less interested, which is fine. I never try to force stuff on them.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's just the weird thing that Dad does. So
Probably easier on the wallet too. Am I right?
yeah, yeah.
Alrighty. Well, you know why you're here, sir. If you want to start showing off some of those collectibles, you can give us backstories on when you got it, why you got it. The
Sure.
floor is yours. So.
All right. Well, I want to start. I just got this. Let me see if we can get this in there. This is Kenny Omega. He's probably my favorite wrestler. I get a little wishy-washy when I'm talking about my favorite wrestlers. I can't ever really pin one down, but gosh, I love Kenny Omega. And as you could guess, I'm a huge fan of Street Fighter. So when Kenny Omega did this Akuma figure here, I had to pick that up. I thought that was so cool. So I just got that. And then GameStop for the longest time has had that clearance sale where it's 50% off the additional 50% off.
Yep.
And I've just been scoring every AEW figure I can. Can we have spoilers for Royal Rumble? Is
yes.
that okay?
This will go up tomorrow, so Rumble's already out. So yep.
All right. So yeah, Royal Rumble winner Cody Rhodes. Let's see. My boy Mox got this on clearance. And this wasn't clearance, but I did also just pick this up. There's a very real chance that this might be the last CM Punk figure we ever get.
Possibly, yeah.
he has burned so many bridges in the industry.
Yeah.
So I had to scoop that up. But yeah, as far as wrestling figures, that's pretty much it. I don't know. I have a lot of cool stuff. What is there anything you would like to see?
Anything you want to brag about? Because, like I said in future episodes, I'd like to keep diving into this collection. So we're gonna go with what you like to show off. So,
all right. Well, let me grab it real quick. It's
okay.
Right here, and I can grab it. This is the one I like to. Oh, I dropped it. Oh, are you kidding me? Let's see if I can get it back there. I can get there real quick.
No worries.
Yep. We got her.
I'm so jealous of you having that stand-up arcade of Ninja Turtles there. I know they just released the Switch video game with all the old Turtle games on there, and the fiance's like, "Do you want that for Christmas?" And I was like, "I would love that." But I just feel like, 7-year-old Cal is going to be like, you couldn't beat it then. What makes you think 37-year-old Cal is going to be able to beat it? So,
sure.
Well, I seem to die on the same level as I was a kid. So. Yeah. So,
but anyway, this is something that I'm terribly proud of. I love this figure. Where's my camera? There it is. This is signed by Steve Downes, the voice actor for Master Chief.
Oh, okay.
So the quick version of the story, we were at a comic book store in Ypsilanti, Michigan, and they had a sign up that said Steve Downes, the voice actor for Master Chief, is going to be at this coffee shop downtown, and he's going to be signing stuff. And we're like, what is this? Why would Steve Downes just go to a coffee shop in Ypsilanti? And they're like, well, he's going to be there. You can go or you don't have to go. It's free. And we're like, okay. So we got there, and sure enough, Steve Downes, the voice actor for Master Chief, is there in this tiny little coffee shop, and he talked to us for an hour. And not like he was really going into the weeds too about really obscure Halo lore and stuff. And I'm like, this is so great. But after he got done talking to us, we took pictures with us, and he signed this figure. So I'm very proud of this. There's the camera. I think that's just so cool. One of my happiest memories. What else? Here we go. Here's a little cool piece of memorabilia. I used to be, many years ago, I was a store manager for GameStop. This would have been like in 2004. Todd McFarlane was at the GameStop Manager Conference in Texas, and I talked to him about how much I loved Spawn growing up as a kid and stuff. Mm-hmm. So he signed his name tag for me, and he gave me his name tag. So I have Todd McFarlane's 2005 GameStop Manager Conference autograph. But yeah, gosh, I have so much stuff. All at arm's length here. Like I said, I just got a bunch of stuff today. I got this 1992 Turtle Mobile, very cool, really good shape too. I think it's complete. But yeah, what else? Gosh, a lot of turtle stuff I can grab. This is Shredder Mobile. This is also complete. Pretty rare, not super rare.
Jealous.
I'm just grabbing vehicles that happen to be nearby.
Yeah, totally fine.
This is Megatron from Cybertron. Galaxy Force was the Japanese name of this series, but it was called Cybertron in the United States. Really love this. Picked this up at a garage sale for like $5, and it's a very cool figure. It's also complete, so that was neat. But yeah, I can literally just keep pulling stuff if you want, whatever you want.
You're the star of the show here, so I'm just gonna be sitting over here being like, man, I wish I had that. I wish I had that. So
this is the Last Ronin. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that. It's the comic book series where all but one of the Ninja Turtles die.
Yep.
And this is the last turtle left, and he's going to take revenge on the Shredder's grandson, I think, if I remember correctly. I haven't read it in a little while, but that's the NECA figure. Came with a ton of accessories. I thought that was so cool.
Those NECA ones that are at Target are just amazingly cool, but they're just outside my budget right now, and I just wish I could, scoop them all up, because those would be the ones that I would actually open, because they're more I feel like artistic, versus just the 80s Ninja Turtles are just what they are.
Yeah, for real. I rarely get NECA stuff for the same reason, like you said. They are a little pricey.
That one that came in the pizza box, that they were black and white, and then they all had the red masks, or I'm not sure what they call them. gonna get roasted by the Ninja Turtle community here now. But I always
Right.
thought those were cool. They did the Casey Jones. Not enough Casey Jones figures out there. April O'Neil. So we're gonna put you on the spot here. What was your favorite Ninja Turtle growing up?
My favorite Ninja Turtle. Okay, so if you're talking about the four brothers, then
Yep.
yeah, it's going to be Raph. But
Nice.
my favorite, yeah, absolutely, totally.
Yep.
He's got an attitude. Here we go. Here's one. That's the storage shell, Raph. I'm just not used to having my camera on this side. Storage shell, Raphael, very cool. But if we're just talking like favorite turtle, it's got to be Slash. Slash is my guy.
Okay.
I'm sure we got a Slash here somewhere. Here we go.
I just want the people to know at home that watch this, like I am geeking out and trying to contain my excitement. I'm gonna have to like send your TikToks and like stuff to my buddy Rob. He's a huge Yep. I got one of those. It doesn't have any accessories, but it's from I believe when the first line one came out. So
yeah. Oh, here we go. Here's another one. But yeah, that's the vintage Slash, one of my favorites.
I think that might be the one I have with just no accessories. Shout out to my buddy Randall for giving me that. So
right, yeah, such a great toy.
He had totes and totes of Ninja Turtles from growing up in storage, and he gave me a bag. He's like, "I'm sorry about the condition they're in." I'm like, "I don't care. I did the fig bath or whatever they call it.
Oh, totally.
Floating in the sink for a day and like just kind of soaking in there." And yep.
Yeah, I'm always happy to get incomplete stuff too. Like here's a great example of another one that I got at a garage sale. This is Tiger Hawk or maybe Tiger Claw. I can't remember. One of the Beast Wars figures. He's very incomplete, but I got it at a garage sale again for next to nothing, and I'm totally happy with that. You can tell how incomplete he is if I have him in robot mode.
Gotcha.
But when he's like this in his Tiger mode, you can't really tell that he's missing a lot of parts, but he is missing a lot. But yeah, I'm right there with you. Totally, I'm just happy to have him. So
one thing that I always like talk to my brother about because I was always the action figures. He was more into the remote control cars, Hot Wheels, Micro Machines.
Right.
And I just happened to go on eBay and I was like searching up every single like obscure car we had, like the Shark Hot Wheel, and we had like I believe it was a bull, but it looked like a bulldog, and stuff. And he's like, "How do you remember all this?" Like, those are like the happiest times I had growing up with you, was playing with our Matchbox cars out in the dirt.
Totally.
Shout out to my mother for screaming and hollering at us for always taking her good spoons outside to dig our racetracks and ruining them. And then I got into more action figures. Well, then my brother, he was 4 years ahead of me, so he was phasing out of it when I got into action figures and stuff. But I really want to go through and find. I should have brought it in here today, but G.I. Joe Extreme. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that line.
Oh yes. Oh yeah.
I had gotten one for Christmas, and we had a bulldog growing up, and he chewed the ever living shit out of it. And I was so mad because I had just got it for Christmas. And credit to my mom, she's like, "Well, now you can say he's disfigured and he he's not damaged, but he's got all this stuff to hype me up." I'm like, that's a great idea. So he was my main guy because he was different. He was flawed and chewed up, and
good job, Mom.
My mom was probably just like, "Oh, great. Now I don't have to buy him another one," but
right.
I actually found that one at a Savers in a bag for $2.99, and I snatched that bag up so fast. And
totally,
I really want to complete the 4 that I had just to throw on my shelf. I wasn't a big G.I. Joe fan, but getting those for Christmas and birthdays were a big deal when I got that line. So
definitely.
I'm going to jump in here, and then I'll let you go again.
Please.
This is a movie that I loved as a kid. I know I showed you off camera. I'm not going to hide any secrets here. Me and my brother, I think he introduced me to this movie, but it's basically like the Ninja Turtles. I love the Turtles, and he showed me this. It's so cheesy, it's so bad, but this is definitely one of my favorite movies as a kid. And I happened to scoop these up. So if there's any Warrior of Virtue fans out there, I don't know if there's many. I'm probably a small market because
all 6 of them.
They had every single figure there at this store except for the female Rue, and I was able to scoop up the 4 rooms of the 5. I would love to complete this line because sometimes I'm incompletist. The fiance yells at me because I don't have to have every single one. But
Right.
this one right here, he was definitely my go-to action figure because I had found him at a Family Dollar for like $3 back in the day.
Right.
He was notoriously the big champion as well as my, my GI Joe I was explaining, and he didn't get chewed on. Luckily, thank God. The dog learned not to chew on my toys after that. But yeah, I think these are pretty beautiful figures. They come with each an accessory, but I mean, fighting kangaroos, how cool is that? So
Totally.
and then
I'm down for any like anthropomorphic animals that are,
yeah.
yeah, like Usagi, for example, from Ninja Turtles.
Oh
Uh,
yes, yep, the panda one as well, the
yep,
gecko.
yep.
Yep.
I love them. I love them all.
Did
Of
you
course,
ever watch or did you ever collect Street Sharks or any Biker Mice from Mars? Since we're on that kind of theme.
yeah. We were just talking about that the other day. I had 2 Street Sharks, but I literally cannot find them. If you can believe that. Um, but I have the Norwal with the screwdriver nose, and then the
Yep.
blue one with the mohawk.
Okay.
But then as for Biker Mike's Mars, no, that was kind of a blind spot for me as a kid. Although I saw that they're coming back. They're doing more of
Yep.
those.
I was just gonna say they're starting a new TV show. Lucky, I found a box set bootleg at the Chicago Comic Con. They had it on Blu-ray, and I forgot that I had it for the longest time till I moved in and I found it. And apparently, like when it's a burnt Blu-ray, it doesn't play well on your PlayStation. So I
Ah,
was like, well, I can't watch it. Well, then now it actually works in the fiance's Xbox One, so I have to pop that back in and rewatch that because my brother had the remote control cars of that. Like
mhm,
that's I think how I remember it was he had the car and then I was like, what is that? And then we watched the Saturday morning cartoon. So
right. Yep, that was a blind spot for me. So my big blind spots are Thundercats. I just was never exposed
mhm.
to them as a kid. Um, He-Man, that was another big blind spot for me. And then GI Joe, I was aware of. I just never really had any GI Joes. So that's one that's always will surprise people with all the 80s and 90s stuff. And I'm always like, yep, no He-Man, no GI Joe. So
Yeah, I,
uh,
I mine was mostly the wrestling Hasbro's for WWF. Like, cause a buddy of mine, he had a whole box full. That's how I kind of discovered wrestling. And then it, tailspin to what it is in today. But I
right.
always had just anytime we'd go to like the secondhand stores growing up, I would just buy something that looked cool. Like I had the American Gladiator
Yep.
um,
I remember
action
those.
figures, and it was so cool because Nitro, he had like his hands in a perfect position where I would put him on the rope and I would slingshot him and he would knock over the wrestlers.
Right.
So I always thought, he was one of the cool ones, as well as a lot of X-Men figures I would find back
Oh,
in the
yeah.
day. And I see they're re-releasing the Spider-Man ones.
Hmm.
I'm not sure if they're doing X-Men yet because I had Bishop. I had traded one of my action figures for a Carnage that was probably about a foot tall and stuff. So
Right. Yeah, I have a lot of X-Men stuff too. Like, I got this reach here. Here we go. Have a storm here, just
oh,
off of what I can reach. Here we go.
very nice.
I don't know what year this is. Let's see. I think they got the year on there. 1991. So there you go.
That
Yeah.
was a badass cartoon growing up too. Spider-Man and X-Men.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that was very influential to me. So I actually was a fan of X-Men before the cartoon. It's probably thanks to X-Men that I even know how to read because I was a terrible student, and I
Okay.
remember being in first grade and I could barely read a word, like way behind where I should have been. And we were at a gas station and I saw an issue of X-Men. I had no idea what it was. Picked it up and my dad, God bless him, he got it for me and read through it. And I was like, okay, I'm going to have to learn how to read so I know what's happening in this. So, yep, that was probably why I know how to read.
Was there any figure that you don't have that you're searching for now? Is there like a holy grail? Is there anything that you haven't been able to get that you really want?
So, yeah, the way I collect, I'm kind of a cheapskate and I don't really chase after stuff, but whenever I see like something that's a novelty that I'm like, oh yeah, I totally got to get this. Like
Mhm.
I was at a flea market the other day and I saw some of these muscle figures. If you remember, Muscle was a toy line. There we go.
Yep.
These little tiny wrestlers. It's nothing I really chased, but I saw it at a flea market and I was like, $2. Yeah, I better grab some of these. So I scooped up a bunch of these muscle guys and stuff. So that's kind of how I buy stuff.
Okay.
Um, but then I'm really excited about the HasLab stuff they're doing with Transformers. I just got my Star Saber based on the Japanese series Victory, and I also put the money down on Deathsaurus, the villain from that series that'll be coming out
Okay.
later this year. So
Very
yeah,
nice.
just weird stuff that's the best way to get my attention.
Yeah, I have my sights on Walmart released the 4 Ninja Turtles just this last year or two. And I see that they're coming out with Bebop and Rocksteady.
Yep,
I never had any of those guys growing up. Mine were always just, the Ninja Turtles. I never bought any of the villains. I probably just didn't see them at the store.
right,
Um, and then after I get them two, Shredder and um, April O'Neil and like that just main cast of characters, I don't want to go down the rabbit hole too far because there's so many.
there's
I have my sights on '90s Power Rangers, the Flip Heads. I want to
yep.
get like the Morpher and get the coins, as well as the McDonald's toys. I don't know if you remember those too much.
Oh, big time. Oh, big
Yeah,
time. Yeah.
I had 4 of the 6. So it's a funny story. Like you said with your reading, we were doing those multiplication tables back in like whatever grade I was in at that time. And if you got done first and got them right or whatever, you got to pick toys. And I saw they had the pink and yellow Ranger there. And I sped through my thing, was able to pick a prize. I was in the top 3, and I got one of the girl Rangers. And then we had the infamous nines, multiplication by 9. And
Right.
my aunt had showed me a trick, with the multiplication table. And I think I had that thing done in like 45 seconds. I just flew right through it. And I
Perfect.
ran up there and gave it to her. She's like, "Good job. I'll look at it." I got 100% on it. And I got to pick first. And I snagged up that other Power Ranger. And all the people were like, "Why do you want the pink one?" It's for my sister. No, I wanted the complete collection
Heck yeah, do
of
it.
all those, Power Rangers with their Zords. So that's what's next on my list once we get a bigger place and have more bookshelves is I'm going straight '90s Power Rangers, anything I can get my hands on. Zords, villains. I loved Goldar and Lord Zed.
Oh yeah.
Um, my goal is eventually to get a Lord Zed tattoo. I always liked the villains for some reason. In
Yeah,
that
totally.
they were so obscure that they were so cool.
Right.
Like the guy that's a pig, and then they had just the crazy creations they would come out of that for that.
Oh
So.
yeah. Yeah. I do love that a lot.
All right. Any more collectibles? We'll try to wrap this up. I definitely, like I keep saying, I want to get you in here some more.
Sure.
We can plan better. I know this was kind of short notice to get you in here. And we could do like themes. We can talk off camera about that. But
Yeah,
anything else you
definitely.
want to show off? Anything you want to
Yeah.
plug?
Let me
Again,
throw
the
you a
floor
bone
is
real
yours.
quick. I'm gonna
All
throw you
right.
one just for you.
Perfect.
This one's just for you. We'll do. So we got a little Lord Zed
Oh,
action there.
oh man, I'm so jealous.
He's so thick too. I love
Yeah,
it. He's got
yeah.
his little
Yep.
staff here too, but he holds it very well. But yeah, definitely. Let's get together. We'll figure out some more stuff we can do.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we could do 100 episodes and not even cover all my stuff.
That's
So
perfect. I'm always the show me the collectibles portion of this podcast a little harder. I only have a few friends that are collectors, but they all collect the same thing I do, which is a local kid from Wisconsin who's a wrestler. Shout out to our hero slash, favorite wrestler Otis. So we're all collecting the
right,
cards and the action figures. So it's a little hard to get those guys on there because we can't just do a dedication for
right,
him. So, and I'll
right.
send you previous episodes and stuff. I crashed his mom's birthday party in town here, like an idiot, and I'll show you some other collectors that I've been talking to too. So.
Awesome. Sounds great.
But yeah, if you want to plug any of your socials there or
Yeah,
anything you want to plug.
check me out on Instagram and TikTok, Toys on My Table. I'm thinking I might do a Twitter just because I want to post more art stuff. But I hear that Twitter is just a terrible hellscape and I wouldn't enjoy it at all. But I do want to post art somewhere.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and then now I see you can build your own community and tweet out to people that are actually in your circle, like people that follow you and that you're multiple friend or mutual friends with.
right.
Yeah, kind of like TikTok, like random people can't just message you. So
Yeah. I probably like that a little better. But yeah,
Yeah.
Instagram and TikTok is where I do most of my collecting stuff. So
Alrighty, give them a like on those social media, folks. I know we're not too big here yet, but hopefully we keep growing. And as I like to say, we'll kick you out of here. We'll talk in the lounge. I don't know. I'm doing finger guns for that or whatever it's called. But plug those sponsors, and then we'll chat off camera here.
sounds good.
All right, appreciate it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is another episode of Show Me the Collectibles, where you get to show off your collectibles. As you can see, I've been talking about it the whole episode. That is a massive collection. We're definitely going to get him back. If you're excited and want to show off your collectibles after seeing this video, give us a like, comment, subscribe on the YouTube, as well as find us on Facebook at Friends of the Sports Circle, where it's geared more towards the wrestling podcast, where you get to come on and talk about your love of professional wrestling, where I also host. Look at that. Also, a huge shout out to our sponsors here. Darren Corbin. You can follow Darren Corbin on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok. Yes, Darren Corbin has a TikTok. Another great way to support Darren is on his Patreon at patreon.com/Darren Corbin, where tiers just start out at $1. Also, give a huge shout out to our other sponsor here, Superior Creations, where you can get all your custom tumbler needs. You can see we got Darren Corbin as well as Eric Cannon on some tumblers. And the previous show, we bumped into Joey and Sierra and got them one as well. You can check them out on facebook.com/Superior Creations for all your custom tumbler needs. And last, a huge shout out to the boys. I still haven't changed the logo. Maybe I won't change it because I'm beefing with Leroy all the time. 13 cards, subject to change there. We got Jesse, Zach, and that second place beard, Leroy, and happy birthday, brother. So, with that being said, that's another episode of Show Me the Collectibles. It's your boy, Grander Q out.